My name is Daniel Scherzinski. I'm an intern at the Office of Process Improvement at CDOT, and this is my Spotlight Innovation video on David Reeves' research project. David Reeves works at the research branch at the Division of Transportation Development, and he has been working on a really cool avalanche research project, avalanche detection research, and all sorts of really interesting innovations and ways to look at data and analysis. You can his invention here in this QR code and in the interview. So enjoy. Did you want to talk about like the avalanche project?
Yeah, well, I have several projects, but we just completed a project called infrasound, and using infrasound to detect avalanches, and also to detect whether it was successful or not when you do an avalanche mitigation, either shoot a howitzer cannon, drop a bomb from a helicopter, or just use our remote detonation or hand charges. So CDOT has many ways of how we maintain our avalanche chutes. And
Cool.
and so I'm leading a pooled fund called TARP. That's our fancy name. We came up with it, a group of us, Transportation Avalanche Research Program. And so we've got like-minded states around us, and even New Zealand Transportation Authority, British Columbia is involved, where we all utilize each other's money, pull it into one pot. And CDOT, we're the lead state, and I manage the various projects that come out of that.
Oh, nice. Cool. Yeah, so that's like your role in the project, and then do you do like additional research with that, or do you just manage that project?
So we get a what I call a principal investigator, or PI, at a university, and they did the research. So I kind of handle the contract, get someone selected, and get it awarded, and so the PI that did the work, they completed that study. In fact, New Zealand's implemented. Colorado's looking at putting this infrasound all over the place, and it's usually infrasound. It's there to detect wavelengths for like earthquakes and stuff like that. And so we're trying to apply it.
Almost similar to like the movement of an avalanche, right?
Yeah, so we're looking because an avalanche, it comes down so hard it creates like a shock wave ahead of it, and so that's what we're listening for with our with the microphones. And you and I just looking at it, we're like, I can't really tell if it happened or it's really snowy and cloudy, so you have to figure out ways. Anyway, so I submitted that to the AASHTO, and there's like 16 research projects across the state that actually win. And so that one I just heard that we won this high value research. So looking forward to the plaque or the laminated piece of paper and the accolades. I think they give it to our executive director. So that's kind of a fun project.
Nice. That does sound fun. And then kind of like with that, does that allow you to like predict when an avalanche is about to happen as well?
Well, that particular one, it doesn't predict when it will happen. It'll just predict if it happened. So you can have the array out there to say there's an avalanche that just hit. And, it's kind of like if there's a tree in the forest and no one's there, did anyone hear it? So we're just like ears on the out there just to detect, because it might trigger, you might use it to trigger a lane closure or warning. We've done all sorts of projects to detect things like animals in our right of way and stuff like that, not infrasound, but other things with LiDAR and cameras, and just to warn the traveling public that something is amiss. In this case, an avalanche.
Yeah, that is cool. And then I don't know, like it's interesting, and I wonder like where do you get like the ideas for projects like this?
Usually sitting around at a bar and at Starbucks with some friends. No, actually, often those are where the best ideas come from. But usually it's oftentimes it's at peer exchanges, or generally I go through a process where people submit us a problem statement. So you might be having a problem. You don't necessarily know the solution, but you just know I have a problem. I have avalanches that are shutting down my roads, and I tend to shut down the highway longer than I probably need to. So I want to try to shorten that time frame until we have the highway shut down. But I don't know what the solution is. So that's usually what happens. And then we go to the university community, for the most part universities, but we do 25% private sector too.
Mhm.
And they say, I think I might have a solution to your problem, and let's work on a research project. And so I'll fund it through whatever means, and do the research, and we hope to implement. We kind of aim for like 50% implementation. So it's not like building a bridge where you pretty well want it to work 100% of the time. In research, it's okay to be bold and try something different.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Well, yeah,
I've had a
sometimes you don't
couple-
find anything. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a couple of, we wanted to use various things, and it just, the PI tried to set up an array of sensors or whatever it is, and things just didn't pan out. And we're like, well, we just can't get it to work. So we tried.
Yeah.
Let's call it try, but you'll see.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, thanks so much, David.